thinking about that sometimes?
Not anymore. I used to. But sometimes on bad days, I just say, why fucking me? I get angry. But only, that's when I'm by myself though, and then, I go to the gym and then everything's okay.
Roach's refuge is his Wild Card Gym in Hollywood, California. Sitting in a dingy strip mall, anyone can walk off the street, pay $5, and let their fists fly. A short stint training actor Mickey Rourke in the 90s brought him to Los Angeles. And a steady stream of celebrities, all the way down to strays, have come to learn from the best. But it's Roach's 23 world champions that have made him a star. And he believes this will be number 24. British boxing sensation Amir Khan.
Buddy. That's it.
Aren't you afraid to hurt him?
No. Well, I was at first. I always had this thing back of my mind. He's got Parkinson's, so he must be a little bit, slower than, or a little bit, he's not going to be the best. But when you get in the boxing ring with him and you start throwing your shots and he's catching your shots, you feel so comfortable. It feels so natural that you forget about the illnesses he has.
If your doctors see this, are they going to be horrified that their guy is doing what he's doing?
No. Most doctors think it's the best way to fight. If you keep doing hand-eye coordination stuff like I do, that's why I'm better now than I was when I first got this disease.
We wondered if this could be true, so we went with Roach to see his neurologist, Dr. Joseph Chung. Freddie tells me that when he does the mitt work, it keeps him sharp. It keeps his symptoms at bay. Does that sound right?
I think so. I think that it helps. You see, when we have a patient with Parkinson's, we ask them to stay active or become active because it does keep them sharp. It does keep your reflexes sharp, keeps your muscles toned. But is it something that's stopping the progression of the disease? I don't want to say that. Okay, the disease is progressing, but they're able to kind of get on top of that a little bit.
Over the past 20 years, Roach's progression has been slow, which, according to Dr. Chung, is a good predictor for his future. Meanwhile, Roach's treatments include shots of Botox to his neck every 3 months, which paralyze the muscles and offer pain relief. And he takes several medications that help control his tremor. But they can only do so much.
If you're tired, fatigued, if you're anxious, angry, these things can bring out a tremor. And if you look at Freddie after his bouts, he is tremoring quite a bit and overall just doing a little bit worse.
How often do you have to worry that the guys that you're training could suffer from this fate?
Tough question because I know the signs of Parkinson's. I know the symptoms. I can see fighters that I don't train that have neurological problems and are going to suffer later.
What do you see?
Tremors are one. A lot of times when they do coordination drills with their feet and stuff like they can't strike on the balls of their feet. I tell my guys to retire before that happens.
Roach says he's told more than 10 of his fighters to hang up their gloves. And after a fight back in April, he's now faced with one more. 36-year-old former world champion Jerry Penalosa. Roach was watching Penalosa take a beating when he says he had a flash of his old trainer Eddie Futch throwing in the towel for Frazier.
I want you to go out there, I'll give you 1 round. You go out and knock this guy out, otherwise I'm stopping the fight.
And when Penalosa didn't deliver, at the end of the round, Roach ended it.
Freddie Roach has stopped this fight, I'm telling you.
Is he going to keep fighting?
He wants to.
Are you going to tell him not to?
Yes.
Is he going to listen to you?
Don't know. It's hard. Those rounds are too close out there, you hear me, son?
Fighters are Roach's family.
You can't handle your speed, son.
But the devotion for his stable has left little time for anything else. And considering his mother's mantra, it's just fine with her.
Don't get married and brush your teeth was my rule.
Why did you tell them that?
Well, because I never had good teeth, probably. So I wanted them always to brush their teeth and have nice teeth, and don't get married was because, don't ever make that mistake. Don't ever do what I did.
Did you brush your teeth?
Every day. And I've never been married.
And you don't have kids. I mean, the sandbag psychologist in me wants to say...
Well, she thinks that I'm not married because maybe the way I was brought up and the bad relationship. You know?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's not true?
You know, I was engaged once. I told my mother, I said, I'm going to get married. And she says, why? And, you know, you're 47 years old. You made it this far.
Roach is still never married.
How did your day go?
Busy.
And Barbara is the one who keeps tabs on him with monthly visits to his home and his office, which is fine for now, but it's hard to predict the future. Can you see yourself, Freddie, one day only being able to sit here and watch? And
that's what they tell me. That's going to be difficult.
or you'd do it? You'd stay in this gym and do that?
I don't think so. I don't want to be one of those guys people just kind of feel sorry for me or something like that. My gut feeling, no.
Mary, how much does the disease limit what Roach can do as a trainer in the gym?
Not that much. Even though he's had it for about 20 years, Brian, he can still, I mean, working the mitts alone is impressive. The biggest problem he's got is the pain in his neck. Yes, we interviewed him 2 weeks after he'd gotten those shots in his neck, and those Botox injections really hadn't worked. He was in a lot of pain.
Is that a result of his boxing days?
It seems to be. I mean, look, it's hard to know. Parkinson's is such a tricky disease. He's considered to have pugilistic Parkinson's because of the brain trauma, and it affects people in all different ways.
The disease is progressive. What kind of a future does he face? Can anybody say?
Not really. I mean, that's what I asked his doctor. Is he going to become like Muhammad Ali? And it's progressing slowly, and that's a good sign. But and hopefully it won't. I mean, this is a nice guy. He can take a punch. You know?
His medical bills must surely be mounting. What's his financial situation?
Oh,
is he okay?
does very, very well. He is. I mean, he made for the Pacquiao Hatton fight. He made $1 million. I mean, this guy, and he lives very modestly.
Yeah.
He doesn't spend a lot of money. He spends a lot of time in the sport he loves, and he's had to pay the price for it, but he thinks it's worth it.
He's quite a story. Yeah. Mary, thanks. It's good to see you here.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for avoiding us. Our last